morning. How are you? If you're just tuning in, you're disappointed that I don't have somebody with me again. I'm sorry. He might be here, he might not. I'm going to make some adjustments. There. Good morning. Yeah. So my better half is not here, and he's feeding the animals, and this is the reason. If you saw it, why I posted this morning in our social media groups, what time is best for you? Because Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. just no longer fits our schedule. And I apologize for that. But yeah, we started going to a Bible study on Sunday mornings before church, and we love it. And we don't want to miss it. We don't want to be late. So getting up, and it's dark when we get up, but feeding the livestock, which we have to wait till light, the new dark hours early in the morning, 8 a.m., and then rushing out the door at 8:50 to make it to church on time just isn't conducive for a happy Sunday morning and to be able to spend time with y'all. So I gave options. If Saturday morning is good for you, that's going to work good for us. And we have 8 a.m., 9 a.m., or 10 a.m. So if you can drop those, one of those day times for Saturday, and what's best for you or better fits your schedule, we'd appreciate it. If you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Amber. I am one of the five Bradshaw family members that moved to East Tennessee from the city in South Carolina by Myrtle Beach to live off grid. We said the Lord is leading. Well, we felt the Lord was leading us to the mountains, so we closed our business, sold our house, packed up, and moved to a place we've never been before, not even on a vacation. I want to see if we can get this better lighting. Here we go. And I'm kind of close to the stove because I'm cooking oatmeal before we go this morning. So, good morning. How are you? Grab some coffee. This week here in East Tennessee, we're right by, if I look out my front window, let's see if I can show y'all. Here's my kitchen. And hang on just a second. There's my window. Now, the camera on this little computer isn't good enough to see, but that is the Smoky Mountain National Forest, and we are blessed. And when I say blessed, that is an understatement with this panoramic view of the Smoky Mountain National Forest, completely unadulterated by humankind. There's no houses, there's no buildings, there's no telephone poles, there's no electrical wires, there is no light from cities. It's just absolutely beautiful. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Linda. Sherry, if you saw the picture in the thumbnail this morning, you're in the background. I didn't even realize it until I posted it. Uh, but anyhow, here last week we went from 80 degrees to, hey, honey, let's go jump in the pool, to it's frost is touching everything this morning. So it just really has the extremes. It did that a couple of years ago. We were filming the build of this house actually. And she said, "Good morning. Finally made one." Good morning, honey. Um, we were filming the build of this house, the final reveal. And the day before it was in the 80s, and we're like pushing, we're sweating like crazy. The day we filmed the final reveal of building this house for building off the grid, it was 13 degrees. And everything, we had bought plants to make the house look good, and they were frozen. The water was frozen, and we couldn't have a fire going because the sound of the blower on the fire and all that stuff messed with the filming. And so if you saw it and paid attention, you could see our breath as we talked. And people even called us out on that, going, "Oh, they'll never live there. Look at, you can see the breath. The show is fake." And we did live here, and we did freeze, and it wasn't fake, but I don't care what people say, to tell you the truth. Yes, it's Christina. Yes, Christina. Christina, girl, this is a really good topic for you that we're talking today about your community. But also, Christina, I love your greenhouse. As soon as I saw that, I didn't know it was you that posted it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. And I saw that it was you. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy for her. I can't wait to see what you guys produce in that greenhouse. Finally get to be here. Good morning. First time. Good morning. Now I see this. I can't read, y'all. I'm getting old. It's AJ Alicia. Alicia. Do you go by AJ? Do you go by Alicia? Is Alicia your last name or is this two first names? I'm just curious. I'm nosy. You don't have to share. Mm. So anyhow, where Timmy is. Normally he's my sidekick. He's my partner, my husband. And he's the reason why we're here and live off grid. 100% Lord's honest truth. He got the calling to move his family to the mountains, and the rest is history. And I wish he was here with us, joining us for coffee right now, but it's half the reason why we need to change the day. So we're going to change it to Saturday. You get to vote on the time, Saturday at 8, 9, or 10. Let me know what's best for you. And starting next week, that's going to be our new commitment. Now, there will be times that we miss. There will be times that it's going to be a little different. We might be a little earlier, a little late, because this is life and we're not a film production, even though we've been on TV. That's not what we do. And yeah, so just pick that and we'll throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. Alicia, oh, okay. Sorry, AJ. There's so many people, AJ, that have the combined names. They share an account with their spouse or significant other, so I didn't know. Mm. And she says, you'll have to come for a visit. I absolutely do. And also, Christina, let me know if you're still doing quail because I can't remember if you were getting more or getting rid of some. We're probably going to be looking for new homes for ours because they're not serving the purpose that they were intended for. And that is a whole nother conversation. But today, and y'all, I'm cooking oatmeal in the background before we go to church. So I'm going to try to keep my eye on it. Today, I wanted to talk about two things, but Timmy's not here. And I wanted him to discuss because he said something to me this week. We're having coffee on our porch. By the way, he has a porch good enough that we can sit out there and have coffee, that's all he's wanted since he built this house was a front porch to sit on and have coffee. And so it's almost done. It's done enough that we can enjoy it. And we were sitting out there the other day talking about the stuff that we need to do around here. If y'all have any type of home, that's a never ending conversation. And he's like, the Lord's finally helped me relieve the burden of the constant heaviness and stress of not having everything done and perfect. But I will talk about that next Sunday. Um, you sold all yours. Oh, you sold your quail. Okay, well then I'm just gonna have to figure out something else. And again, we'll talk about that later. But today I wanted to talk about the importance of community. And the reason why that I wanted to talk about that is because yesterday, Sherry and her significant other, Jacques, they did a fall festival with us of sorts. It was an anniversary. Some friends of ours that own this prepper store. If you're ever in the Cosby area, or Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, East Tennessee, it's definitely worth a stop. I'm going to give them a big shout out. It's Tennessee Preparedness, and they are on Highway 321 in Cosby, but I think of it more towards Gatlinburg. And they're just two amazing women, God-loving women. You go in there and share your testimony here or theirs, but it's just a neat store. They have everything from freeze-dried foods to essential oils to local handmade fudge to in it. You can get all these in prepper items for hiking or life or whatever, like little mini Faraday cages for your pocketbook and stuff. And it's just, I think they have Sherry, if you can you find the link for me and just drop it in the comments for the store? I know they have an online store. I just don't go to it because I can go to it right in person. But anyhow, they had their 7-year anniversary celebration yesterday, and they had a lot of goals for the 7 years, and I'm pretty sure that they achieved all of them. But they invited us to set up our tables and sell our goods. And so Jacques makes these amazing little gnome crafts, and Lyndon got one. We have one that they had gifted us. There was another gentleman that was sitting beside me, and he and his wife had like woodcut wreaths and everything. There was another lady there that did boiled peanuts, which we love boiled peanuts. And so, there's another guy there teaching self-defense, and it was just we didn't sell a lot. I'm gonna tell you, we didn't sell a lot. I spent more money than I sold, and everybody asked how it was, how did it do? And Carrie, one of the owners, she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna sell a lot today," or "I know you're gonna sell." I said, "Honey, if that was my intention, if I came with the anticipation of selling a lot, I wouldn't have come because I know how these things go and it's either hit or miss, and I don't set this level of expectation." And at the end of the day, I was sitting here, I was exhausted. I got up at 4. I've been working hard at my job. I've been working hard at these homemade products, just trying to get it done. And I was mentally and physically exhausted. And I sat there and Timmy's like, "Well, are you glad you went?" And I thought about the community that I had yesterday, and I said, "Absolutely." I said, there was a 10,000 things that I could have been doing that I probably should have been doing that were different than just sitting in the cold, chit-chatting with friends. But what I got from that, from just having that community and fellowship, it's rejuvenated me. And we need that. And if you run a home, period, doesn't need to be homestead. If you run a home, a household, you know how easy it is to get wrapped up in work, home, chores, you know, your children, whoever you are accountable to, responsible for, eat, sleep, repeat. And it's easy to get sucked into that schedule that you forget that you need community. And there's often times that we say we can't do it, we're too tired. We can't do it, we're too busy. We can't do it, we have too much stuff to do. All true thoughts, responses. However, you have to set that time away. You've got to force yourself to make that time to be a part of a community. And there's a reason. I was exhausted also. Sherry, I bet you were. Saturdays would be great anytime. I've tried to be here when you have lives, but not successful since we signed up 2 to 3 months ago. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Sherry, I knew you were exhausted, honey. And Sherry is a caregiver for Jacques. And well, I'm sure they care for each other in different ways, but she pretty much runs that homestead. And for anybody, for any male or female, having that sole responsibility is hard. Um, Here's Timmy. Wait, maybe this is a false entrance. Good morning. Was it cold out there? We were talking about the importance of community and the reason why Tennessee Redness. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that. The If you guys want to go to the website, Sherry just dropped the proper name in the comments. They ship and sell things all over, and they're just it's a cousin, two cousins that own it. And it's a great business to support, even if you just want to tell somebody else about it, please do so. Um, but anyhow, and Wednesday at church, our pastor kind of just touched about the fall of the nation, the fall of the world, the fall of the country. And it basically has to do with the family, the government is messed up because the churches are messed up, and the churches are messed up because the families are messed up, and the families are messed up because they don't have God at the center anymore. And it is a full circle. I've been talking about you, but we're talking about today, this morning, the importance of community and how good it is for our soul and how to find. Look at Gandalf over here. He's so funny looking in that robe. Um, and I can't even begin. We have other videos that we've shared how blessed and amazing it has been. People that God have put in our lives to help support us since we've been here. People we didn't even know. People that saw us out. When we were sick, they brought us soup. They brought us elderberries. When we were cold, they brought us firewood. When we were hungry, they shipped us ham and preserves. And I mean, it's just been amazing. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our community. And we didn't like put on a Facebook ad or, it's just one, God brought these people to us. But two, we're supposed to be that way. So our pastor touched this week. I've got my water boiling. Hang on just a second, y'all. I gotta put my oatmeal in. Is this a spurtle or a spattle? Does anybody know?
Spurtle.
Spurtle. If y'all don't have these, You need to go ahead, get over here. You need to go ahead and get a couple. They're on Amazon or a craft show or whatever. And for those of you that are negative about selling at Amazon, let me tell you something. Amazon lets people like me sell on their platform to reach people all over the world. So yes, it's a big, corporation, but they support the local artisans. So you're not just sending your stuff off to China, your money off to China. You can find local artisans on there, just like Etsy, that sell their products. But I love these things. It's a spurtle. They have solid, they have slotted. But anyway, say good morning.
American made. Oh, good morning. Hope
We're talking
everybody's
about the
doing well.
importance of community and how what they blessed us here since we made it.
Yeah, that's been a wonderful thing for
And how
us.
important it is that we have people.
And yeah, and you know, I mean, I feel good when I uh, reach out and try to bless others, and I mean, it's something that works both ways. So yeah,
Well, I mean, in the Bible, God promises us if we're obedient to Him and help others, that He'll bless us tenfold. I love that tenfold blessing. But this weekend, our pastor was talking about again how the fall of the government is fall of the church because the church is the people. I love that meme or that T-shirt or whatever when after church service is over and everybody leaves and goes home. They said the church has left the building because that's true. That's a building that we go to that we have church, but the church is the people inside the building. And how, we quit supporting one another. I mean, you think about it. I think of how many people in the congregation anymore, and it's sad. They just, you go, you have fellowship, then boom, they do their own thing. You never hear from them again, or they don't call and check on you, or all these other, negative things that you can think of. And and that really to me is we resonated on it a lot this week about the fall because we're brothers and sisters. And it's the same mentality homesteaders have. It's like we're all in this together. We're brothers and sisters. We need to do good old fashioned barn raisins together. We need to do pig pickings together. We need to do processing together. Christina mentioned her business, her farm. Christina, I don't know if you have a website. If you do, go ahead and drop it and share it with people in the links. She's great at building community. I was one of her speakers one time. She brought in all our neighbors. I taught everybody how to make microgreens. Timmy and I were there in her home, and it's Christina's wonderful example about how to bring a community together so people that can support each other and lean on each other. And we're all as we've developed this me pride thing. I don't want to tell anybody about my problems. I'm tough. I'm strong. I don't need to nobody's help. I can do it myself. They're busy. I don't want to trouble them. I don't want to burden them. Did any of this sound familiar?
uh,
He's famous for this, y'all. He's like, I'm going to do it myself.
well, yeah. I mean, I used to be like that. I'm not like that anymore.
What did life
I'm
humble
not.
you just
I'm
a
the
little bit?
first one to just go. I mean, I can't handle this on my own. And I mean, thank God for that because I've carried a lot on my own, and it's not right. It's.
We're supposed to help each other.
Yeah,
We're supposed to help carry each other's burdens.
yeah,
Celebrate the joys, but help carry each other's burdens because God knows that the stuff that we go through is too heavy for one person.
yeah.
We are not qualified. We are not qualified. And there's never been a time, not one time in my life, where I regretted helping somebody out of a bad situation. Not one time.
You won't. I mean,
You'll never regret blessing others ever, unless you're doing it for the wrong reason. Like if you're doing it so you can get fame and fortune, or way to go, or there you go, or a pat on the back. If that's why you're doing it, then you're not doing it to help others. You're doing it for yourself. But you will never ever regret helping others. So you have to make that time too. You have to force yourself, no matter what you have on your plate, to reach out and help people that need to be helped, no matter what you have on your plate, because eventually it may come full circle. When you need the help, God's going to put the people in your life because
yeah,
you've been obedient to help you. But you have to have that community. And we have to not just join for church once or twice a week, or join for, plant season once a year. But we need to be praying for each other. We need to support each other. I mean, not talking about getting together and doing a bunch of wah wah, gossip and stuff, but we need to support each other.
Wah, wah.
Wah wah. I mean, you can want want. It's okay to want want, and I've done plenty of it here. But don't stay at that pity party.
Yeah.
Have a closing time that you're going to move on from it.
Here's something I'm guilty of, though. Having to do something for someone, and I'm not talking about recently, but just like, oh man, I can't believe I got to do this. I'm not
Well,
sure.
you're not doing it with a
I'm not
triple heart.
qualified, and then in the end, when it's all said and done, you're like, that wasn't so bad. I learned something from it, and I feel good, and I helped somebody out. So, I think that's what it's all about right there. So, and it's changing, changing your heart at the same time. So, thank God.
But
Of course, there was a time in my life when I wouldn't admit that, but hey, I'm free now, so I can do that.
so people kind of say, where do I find my people? Where do you find your little tribe? Where have we found our tribe? Well, we started church.
We moved to Tennessee.
We did start to find our
God
tribe.
moved us to Tennessee.
God moved us to Tennessee.
Yeah, I gotta quit saying that. And I mean, it was all him, and I was just
obedient.
Yeah. So
my coffee still isn't right.
I mean, I remember, and I'll probably never forget this because I said something one time to our pastor that I regret now.
Me too, Sherry. That's funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I told him, I said, it took me a long time to get here. And when I said that, I didn't correct myself, and I've carried that for a long time. And
What do you mean?
my heart, what my heart truly meant was God brought me here, and I said that I did this, and
no, but this is the
totally
thing
wrong.
too with that, and I didn't know that you felt that way.
Yeah.
But
And I said that to my pastor.
I don't think that he took it that way, honey.
I think he did. He knows. He's a smart man.
He's not out there judging you. He's not out there judging you. It's not. That is. I think it took you a long time to put God first in your life.
And
that's
this
what
was
it
the
is.
first time we'd ever talked, had a conversation, and and I said that, and he's like, boy, he's up here. He's all me, me, me.
Oh, Timmy. I'm cooking my oats is boiling over, y'all.
You better get them goats a boiling because it's time to go to church.
Okay. Okay. I love my wood cook stove, y'all. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And if you don't have, sorry, because I love mine. And you couldn't give me electric stove with electricity to run it. I'd still keep my wood cook stove. I never thought I'd say anything like that.
Well, you can cook a lot of food on it.
Oh my
Keeps
gosh.
the house warm in the winter.
We'll talk about that one time. We'll have a cooking thing.
And
we'll get together and cook breakfast. And we'll do the whole gamut. That sounds like fun. We'll do that one day. But anyhow, because we do have to get going. Christine said, don't be afraid to let people know. Don't be afraid to let people know. If you're not letting them know because you don't want to whatever burden them, you don't want to bother them, you don't want people to know your problems, it's because of your pride.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Ouch, that stings a little bit. But yeah, it's because of your pride. And you're worried about what they're going to say. You're worried about what they're going to think. You don't want to, you're worried about they're going to feel that you're weak or you're always asking for something. No, it's because of your pride.
Pride will be the downfall of any blessing that is going to be coming to you.
Yeah.
So you won't get it.
And that's what that is. You're denying the person that has the ability to
Yeah.
help you their blessing too. You don't want to do that. And it took me a long time. Finally, I just started. I'll say no like twice. I'll say, no, that's okay, thank you. And they do, no, it's okay. That third time, I'm like, come on, come on, bring it. Because some people say things not really thinking that you're going to take them up on it. So I want to make sure that they know what they're getting into. And that third
Well,
time,
well,
you
yeah.
coming.
I think those are times when you just kind of pray about it, and if it
Yes, I
happens,
need the intro to the wood stuff. Oh, well,
you
honey, we'll do that. Go ahead.
if it happens, it's a blessing from God, and you don't have
Absolutely.
to sit there and go, no, no, no. Well, yeah, it'll happen if it's supposed to happen.
And no, it's only happen if you're if you're faithful and following God.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of it's supposed to happen. Nothing's predestined. It's all based on our choices.
Okay, I said that wrong.
I'm
I'm up for correction anytime.
not trying to correct you, honey. I'm sorry. We just been married a really long time.
Yeah,
But no, we're here long
there's a
enough.
lot of times when I've said things and I look at people and they look at me, go, and I get it now because they're going, oh no, that's not the way it is.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing. But where do you find your people? So, if it's homesteading and gardening, good morning. I can't see. Hey, Arrow's mama. Good morning, honey. If you are and if you're just joining us, this is live, but you can rewatch it, right? So we're talking about building the importance of community and why we need to have it. One, it's biblical. God tells us to help carry each other's burdens. Two, it builds that community where we can all be there for each other and help each other in this life. And y'all, our knowledge that we have, and y'all have every something to share. Every single person has something to share. I learned so much yesterday sitting on that porch, wanting to sell my wares, just communicating and having fellowship with people. Everybody has something to share, and you're never too old to learn something new. There's either a better way to do something, a quicker way to do something, a cheaper way to do something, a healthier way to do something, and you don't know it all. But what you do know, you need to share and to help others because everybody's out there looking, they're hungry for this information that we have to share. You didn't learn what you know on your own. You might have YouTubed a couple of things, but this information that we have with our lifestyle is important for the younger generations to learn. And I've even had classes where I've had somebody, 30, 40 years, my senior, come up to me thanking me for sharing that information because they didn't know it.
That's got to make you feel good.
It does. It does. It makes you feel blessed too that you were introduced that
That it
information that you
helps
could share with
somebody. Yeah.
others. Absolutely. You know, and so places that we have found the community, first and foremost, your church. And I will say this. We're the only ones at our church that live off grid, which is fine. I mean, we don't advertise it, but we were in line Wednesday to get food. This lady behind me, she's looked over. She goes, "So you still do that thing?" And I'm like,
what thing?
"Can you elaborate just a little bit more?" She goes, that self-sufficient thing. And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "So you like it, eh?" "Yeah, living like that." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Huh." Turn around. So funny.
You should try it.
Yeah, you should try sometime. But secondly, is your local extension agency has a ton of classes that they offer. Ton of classes. Every single extension agency across the United States has a lot of classes to offer. Even if you know the information, go sign up. Meet your tribe. If you know how to can and there's a canning class, go sign up. One, you might learn something new. Two, you might have knowledge to share. Three, you're going to meet other people that are interested in canning. Same thing with whatever, like Lyndon's 4-H group started. They're doing something with horses. Then they're doing something with a food bank. Then they're going to be doing something you can volunteer to help at a 4-H group or FFA group. And then you can meet other families that are like-minded. You might not have a child at home that's of that age. Volunteer to be a teacher, volunteer to be an instructor, volunteer to be a special speaker at one of those. And then you'll meet families that are sharing the same interest.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times that I've showed up to those things where people have come to me say, "Hey, will you speak at our event?" And I'm like, "Sure." And that's where we start meeting more like-minded people. Another place is to go on mm, Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook upcoming events that you can go to and participate that way as well. I mean, we've had cheese making classes on Facebook. We've had soap making classes on Facebook. There's been, there has been how am I say that right? Farrier classes on Facebook where you learn to trim hoofs and all that. I think I'm saying that right. Butcher classes. We found a Facebook butcher class when we were getting into meat rabbits. So
Yeah.
those are other ways.
If you're fortunate, you'll meet somebody online and they'll say, "Can we come live with you for a couple of weeks?" We've been there.
Yeah, that doesn't always work out. Yeah, we've had a lot of people want to move
Yeah,
here.
can we come stay with y'all?
Yeah. No, we've had hosted people that have reached out to us and they just wanted to come and stay the night, and we've hosted them. We don't make a habit of it because we have a minor child at home. But we've done it and the Lord blessed us. Everything was safe and kosher, and and
Yeah.
and we formed really good relationships. But it's not a wise practice to open your doors to strangers that you meet online. Yeah, and probably not the smartest advice on that one. But online community, just like here, we're sitting here chatting. Everybody's chiming in. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I wish Timmy would have walked in with his staff. We have one too, Linda. That would have been funny for your Gandalf
Oh,
impression.
well, Amber says I look like Radagast.
He does, y'all. I've shared a picture when he has his, yeah, Radagast. If you have
Oh,
never
and he's a
watched,
little bird poop up here, you know?
and we have that during the right time too. If look, we finally go Homestead group and meet up with them meet once a month. Yes, Christina. And Christina, you have a homestead group out there. Sherry, this is what me and you were kind of talking about. I even reached out to Britt Barnes. If you don't know who he is, if you watched Forged in Fire, he was one of the winners and he's from our area. And
He's a Forged in Fire
champion. Yeah. Amazing, amazing testimony. And he goes all over the world to be a missionary and teaching his craft about forging. And then shares his testimony in the gospel, which is really amazing. So we had talked about doing that around here, and we might pursue it. It depends on how, if God opens that door and He says this is important, you need to do this, and go ahead and do it. And because there's so much knowledge to learn with just everyday people that we don't know. I mean, there's just so much to learn and share, and the fellowship. So I'd come. Well, honey, we would love to have you. And I actually meant to talk to Pastor David about that, about using the church, because I don't want to have it at a home. I actually want to have it at a community building type thing, because it's too hard when you have host things at your house. You guys know you got to clean up, you got to make sure the animals are all put up, and it's a pain, and nobody wants to do that for a long time. You get burnt out. But if you can host it at a neutral place and building that's with facilities like running water and flushing toilets, it's a lot better for public.
That stuff is overrated.
Yeah. Anyways, next week maybe we'll talk about how to learn to be okay with not having everything perfect on the homestead.
Yeah, I'd probably chime in on that one.
I think you would. All right, y'all have a blessed Sunday. We'll see you next Saturday. We'll depend on the poll, whether it's 8, 9, or 10. We'll see you next Saturday. Be there
for the Tim and Amber Show.
All right, y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks
Bye.
for putting up with us.